Good evening, I'm Jose Cardenas. We will talk about a program in Glendale making sports, mentors, and tutors accessible to teens and kids. Plus, learn about an ASU student's idea to perk up campus plant life in an environmentally conscious way. And at-risk youth get the opportunity to play the sport of handball. All this coming up next on Horizonte.
Funding for Horizonte is made possible by contributions by the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station.
Thank you for joining us. The Glendale Youth Project, known as GYP, is an organization helping at-risk youth. GYP provides a positive outlet for exploring new opportunities. Joining me now to talk about the program is founder and director Carlos Mesa. Also here is Lina Mesa, also a founder of GYP. Thank you both for joining us on Horizonte. Carlos, as I understand, GYP, Glendale Youth Project, is formally only 4 years old, but this all grew out of something you started almost 20 years ago. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I started about 1996 out of my house. I started with the Boy Scout pack. Jose Mendoza and Lieutenant Frank Balcom from the Glendale PD, they approached me, they asked me if I wanted to start a Boy Scout pack. I was young and I said, yeah, I'll do it. So I went on, I did it for 5 years. So at that time, those kids were 5 years old. So when they turned about 5, they were about 10 years old. So they started getting into sports. So this when I started kicking in. I started doing basketball, baseball.
Even boxing is
boxing, yeah. I started boxing in 1998. I started a boxing gym out of my house where I was averaging about 14 to 15 kids. Little small house that I grew up at my grandma's right there in the Glendale neighborhood. And we took it from there.
And why? What was the motivation for getting involved? Because all this time you work at the Glendale School District, high school district. You have a day job and you're doing this at night. What is it that made you want to do this?
I guess it was I love working with kids, and I guess I grew up in the neighborhood, and a lot of my friends and their brothers end up going to prison or turn into heroin addicts. And I didn't want that to a lot of these kids that I got attached to doing Boy Scouts. When I started Boy Scouts, I got attached to these kids. So I just fell in love with it, and I wanted to give them more and more and more. And that's why we started doing it.
And Lina, you're a co-founder. Mm-hmm. As Carlos said, you guys were doing this out of your house.
Yeah, we started out of our house. Well, it goes back to, Carlos doesn't have a father, and I think he's always had that passion to, lead kids, show them the better way. We were always involved in a program with council member Norma Alvarez. It was called Show Them a Better Way, and we were with that program for years, and I think Carlos just got hooked, and there was kids that really looked up to him. He became a mentor really fast, and I think that's when we really kicked off. So our house, his grandparents passed away, left us their house right in the heart of Glendale, in the smack in the middle of the barrio, and kids were in and out of our house. We always had, the park is, our house is in the middle, 2 houses to the right, we have a community center. 1 house to our left, we have a park. So we would take the kids, have them just walk all the equipment over to the park, have practice, come back to the house and unload, and then it was just an open rack.
And I understand that you mentioned you've got this Glendale Recreation Center just a few feet away, a few houses away. And Glendale came to you because they noticed your place was full.
Yeah,
and there were not very many people using the recreation center.
Yeah, it was, me and Carlos both had full-time jobs, so it was just from around 3 o'clock to 8 at night. We finally said, you know what, why don't we just become our own organization? So we became the Glendale Youth Project. We gutted out the house. Carlos actually, I can't take any credit for it. He would go yard selling, and he found pool tables, ping pong tables, used office equipment. We'd go yard selling and, to thrift stores. So we got the center going.
So you made your own center basically in your house, but at some point you expanded to use the Glendale facilities.
Yes.
And we've got a few pictures of that we want to put up on the screen showing the kids there and what they're doing, basketball in this picture. And I think we have a shot of indoors, what the kids are doing. This is what, a volleyball team?
Yeah, this is our volleyball team, our 4th through 6th grade team.
They didn't make it to championships, but Daisy, the one on the glasses over to the right-hand side, she was on our volleyball team for the last 4 years. She's now a sophomore in high school, and she approached us. So like I was mentioning before, our purpose is to have our younger kids, so all our smaller ones at the bottom, hopefully when they get into high school, I want them to come back and start coaching our younger guys. So it's kind of like a cycle.
And in fact, and we got a few more pictures that we'll be showing as we talk. Another one of the volleyball team. As I understand it, Carlos, that's a big part of the program is you get the kids who've been through it to start working with you. We've got another shot. I take it some of these older kids are involved helping you coach.
Oh yeah.
That's a special guest. He's a heavy, what is he?
He's a lightweight MMA fighter.
And who are we
He-
talking about there? Which person is this? The one right in the middle?
Yeah, in the
black
middle.
in the back.
And that's
So-
Harper in the back, and that's his brother Manny. They're also are my team leaders now, and they're coaches. Manny just got done coaching a basketball team.
And as I understand it, to this day, this is all volunteer effort.
Yeah, it's all volunteer.
What role does the city play? They provide, I guess, the facility?
Yeah, that's all pretty much. They provide the facility. Eric Strutz, he's the director for the Parks and Recreation, and he opened up the door for us to pretty much run all our programs and the community center.
And so are you still using your house?
No, not no more.
So now you got it in this modern facility. You're running these programs, and Lena, I understand it's not just sports. You provide other services for these kids.
So Carlos does the sports. We have open rec, so anyone's welcome in and out. It's not just to Glendale
And
area.
we're talking about recreation.
Open recreation, yes. We have cheer, we have hip hop, we have Boy Scouts, we have PAC 197 Boy Scouts, we have the Mighty Rangers, and then we have a girls group. So my daughter's teaching the girls group, and she's just,
It's more a hangout and just talk.
proper etiquette, manners, being ladylike. So, and they talk about hygiene. We have a weight room in the city, in the facility. So some of our high school kids just come and hang out, and they lift weights in there. Carlos does boxing out of there a few
So how
nights a
many
week.
kids do you think you touch in any given year?
Daily, I would say anywhere from 60 to 7 come rolling in and out of the center. Sports, just with football alone, we have 6 teams, and there's about 25 on each team. Our volleyball team, we have 2 volleyball teams, and those are, they range from about 15 girls. We have basketball teams that range from 15 kids per team, and we have
5 teams.
yeah.
And-
So
and-
there's, I would say about maybe active Glendale Youth Project kids that are, rotating between sports and programs, about 350 kids.
So we've talked a lot about the kids. What about the parents, Carlos? Any involvement by them, or what kind of reaction do you get from them?
We got some real good parents that have been involved with us, like the Harpers, Becky and Lupe Harper. They've been part of our lives too. I started coaching Harper and Manny when they were 6, 7 years old, and they've been with us since then. And they're a big part. And
Coach Stacy.
Coach Stacy, Lupe, Dominguez.
So it's very much a community effort.
Exactly, it's a community effort.
And where do you get funding? How do you provide for all of this?
Our funding comes just from our parents, our own fundraisers. We do a lot of car washes, a lot of bake sales. We do, like this weekend, we're going to have a horseshoe tournament to raise money for our spring football program.
But our main right now is we have a huge support system with
Councilman.
Ian Hugh, which he's been amazing.
Yeah, he's a blessing to us.
Yeah, he came to us, and we didn't have a ping pong table, so he kind of went to the center just to see what was going on, and he says, "What are these kids playing with? You don't have any ping pongs." He took us out, and we went shopping, got basketballs, footballs, ping pongs, basketball courts, like these stand-up courts. So
And we
he's been a
had
huge
the
help.
website up on the screen a little while ago. I assume people can go there, get more information, make contributions if they want.
GlendaleYouthProject.com. You know, and money, we don't only ask for money donations, used items. And like I tell Carlos all the time, if you come across anyone and they have used basketballs, used board games, anything that they can just drop off, we can use. Right now we're looking for sponsorship. So if they don't want to just, you know, it's 100% deductible, but if they want to sponsor a team versus, you know, just, hey, here's a check to help your organization, we would rather somebody give us a check to sponsor a basketball team of 15 kids, because we have a lot of kids that are coming to us on scholarships that can't pay to get on sports. And, you know, it cost us about $10 to get a shirt. And if we're going to get a team together, it gets pricey. We have to have equipment for the coaches to practice with. We have to have basketball shorts and football.
Football is
That's a whole beast
That's an
in
expensive
itself.
one.
Yeah,
Carlos, we're almost out of time, so last question. We talked a little bit off camera about the drug problem in this area, and it seems to me that makes this program all the more important. How are you dealing with that?
I think that's one of my reasons why I target so much, because a lot of my friends, I said, they became heroin addicts or went to prison, and I don't want that to happen anymore. And our goal is to get these kids educated, go to the service, go to college, or even a trade school. I tell them, you know what, you don't have to go to ASU, U of A, you know, you don't have to go to a top college, but if you go to a trade school, become an AC Tech. AC Tech make decent money in Arizona. Just become a good moral person in life.
And this gives them a way to do that.
Exactly.
Thank you both so much for joining us on Horizonte to talk about this wonderful program.
Okay.
Honored to have you here.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. I appreciate it.
ASU is committed to minimizing waste through its Zero Waste Campus initiative. Producer Shayna Fisher and photographer Steve Snow tell us about Grounds for Grounds, an ASU student's idea to perk up campus plant life in an environmentally conscious way.
Vicente Solis begins his day like most of us, with coffee. But he isn't drinking his, he's collecting it.
Grounds for Grounds is a campus-wide recycling program, and we recycle the used coffee grounds that come from Aramark and other cafes throughout campus.
Vicente and his landscaping crew collect the used coffee grounds, nearly 500 pounds each week. The grounds are a perfect addition to enrich the soil.
Well, the idea of coffee grounds is they feed the microbes that are found in soil, and the microbes feed on the protein content of the coffee grounds, and in turn the microbes give the nitrogen to the plants.
Vicente came up with the idea after seeing how well coffee grounds worked on his own lawn and garden. He pitched the idea to Aramark, the hospitality company that provides food and supplies to ASU dining. They jumped at the chance to be a part of this eco-friendly project.
The food system and the food industry in general is very intensive in waste and energy and water. So it's important that we constantly seek ways to minimize our impacts through those operations. We're all very proud of it. You know, we walk around campus and you can smell the coffee and the flower beds, and you can see how vibrant they are, and we can be happy that that's a result of the work we do and the partnerships that we have here on campus, and that we are making not only the campus a more beautiful place, but on a more global level, helping to make the world just a little bit more sustainable.
Vicente has won several awards for the Grounds for Grounds program. But for him, it's seeing how well the flowers and plants flourish that's the real prize.
We do see a difference in our planters. We've been focusing them on our flower beds recently, and the flower beds that we're using them on, we see more organisms inside. We see more bugs, we see more earthworms, we see, and then of course the plants look better. So, but the fact that we see more life within our soil is a good sign. It makes me proud. I mean, it makes me a proud student, a proud employee, because I have given back to my university, and yeah, it just makes me feel proud.
The Grounds for Grounds program is just one way ASU is trying to reduce waste on campus. The entire campus aims to be a zero-waste campus by 2015.
Here at Horizonte, we want to hear from you. If you have comments, story ideas, or questions, email us at horizonte@asu.edu.
Success for Kids helps youth with the opportunity to play the sport of handball in a safe and structured environment. Joining me tonight to talk about the program is James Reitmeyer, coach and mentor for Success for Kids, and Ken Dannenbaum, co-founder of Success for Kids. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us on Horizonte. Let's start, Ken, with the founding of this program. How did it begin?
We started this program about 10 years ago. A young man named Jerry Bernard, who happens to be my age, is a CPA, and I decided to start working with young men and women to help grow handball and help these young men and women become better people.
Why handball? I mean, there are many ways to help, and you chose this one in particular.
Well, we both played handball. We both have a passion for handball, and there are 8 three-wall handball courts at every school in West and South Phoenix. Actually, at every high school in Phoenix, and every day at the schools on the west side and the south side of Phoenix, there's approximately 100 kids playing handball, unorganized, maybe not playing by the rules, but playing. So we had realized that was a very easy transition for us to go back in.
Interest was already there.
Interest was already there.
And then you guys got involved, but with a little bit of a different focus, which was indoor handball.
Right, and the reason we did that is because 98% of the people that play 4-wall indoor handball are an extremely positive path in life. Today, these kids are playing big ball outside, and there's not quite as many people on a positive path in life. So we try to transition them from the 3-wall game or the outdoor game to the indoor game. We take them to various tournaments across the country so they can interact with other kids, and then they see how successful they can be. 98% of the people that play handball are on a positive path in life.
And I want to talk about some of the successes your program has had with some of these kids. But, excuse me, Jim, one of the reasons for handball as opposed to, let's say, basketball or football is it's kind of a great equalizer. Anybody can play it.
It's one of the most, we call it the perfect game. You can play it indoors, outdoors. There's so many different types of handball as well. Ken touched on 2 of the major ones, but we have 1 wall with a big ball. We have 1 wall with a small ball. It's Ireland's national game, and it's just a game that you can play almost in a gymnasium.
And it doesn't matter how big you are, how tall you are.
Doesn't matter how big or small. Seems like some of the smaller guys get around the court a little faster than the big guys, but it's a phenomenal game. I have a passion for it. I've been playing it for 55 years myself, and still play the game and love it.
Now let's talk a little bit about some of the other organizations involved in the sport itself and how you interact with them. There's the United States Handball Association.
United States Handball Association is our major company that we represent, and they provide coaching, instructions, and certification. And then the newest organization, World Players of Handball, they call it WPH. Both of them you can find online, but they basically are driving the game of handball because a lot of people say it's a dying sport, but I believe now it's a very fast-growing sport.
And right now you're focused on 3 high schools.
We're focused on 3 high schools. There's about, I'd say, 12 schools in the Phoenix area that have 8 to 12 courts, and kids are playing there every day. So what we're trying to do is find out how many players there are, and try to guide them into a competitive position. We use the perfect game to do that. You can start with in elementary schools too, which is another avenue we're looking for.
In the schools you're in right now, though, what is your involvement? How many people do you have involved? What are they doing? I know there are a number of coaches.
Our executive director, Todd Hollister, and I are going to the 2 basic high schools right now, and working. We're going to try to get our foot in the door with a 3rd, Carl Hayden. And we go there and we try to find out how many kids are just having fun on a lunch hour, and who would like to make it more of a competitive game and learn the rules of the game.
And it's a once or twice a week
activity.
And who are the other 2 schools?
North High School and South Mountain High School.
Now, Ken, you touched on this a little bit, and Jim has mentioned the success as well, but Your program, you've touched several hundred kids over the 10 years or so that you've been involved. You've produced some pretty serious competitors.
Yes, we have.
Give us a few examples.
We have a young man, his name is Edgar Medina, went to South Mountain High School. He won the National A Division Championship 2 or 3 years ago. Now there are only 15 people that can say they ever won a national championship in the A Division in handball, maybe 20. And we have other students that have done very, very well. We have young men and women who've gone through college, they've graduated through the game of handball. I talked to one of them's parents last week, and he was number 3 in his class at Maryvale High School, and he now is an engineer, works for ADOT. We have another young man who got a full ride scholarship to Arizona State, and we have people that are on a positive path in life. One of our young men from a few years ago, his name is Richard Quiros, and Richard and I were very good friends, and he's a very good handball player, and he now works for the Sheriff's Department. One day, Richard, I used to have a Ford Lightning pickup. A Ford Lightning pickup, since Jim works for Ford, will go 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds. And I used to lend my truck out to my kids. And one time, Richard said, he says, well, I want to use it. Are you going to, thank you for letting me use the truck. I said, I have 2 rules, Richard. I said, the first rule is that you be careful, and the second rule is that there's no drinking. He says, don't worry. He says, I don't drink. I says, what do you mean you don't drink? I've heard you talk about drinking before. He says, yeah, but if you play handball, you can't drink.
And that's a big part of the program, right? Because in addition to the teaching kids how to play the game, exposing them to the competitive aspects of it, as I understand it, you have life coaches as well.
That's correct.
Tell us about
We have a young lady, her name is Alicia Cooper. She's a life coach. She's come and talked to our young men about nutrition. We hope to have her talk to our people a couple of times every 2 months or so. We have, Jim has videoed that, and she's allowing us to show that video to all the handball groups around the country. And then what I do, I'm 65 years old. I had to quit playing the game 5 years ago after my 3rd back surgery. So I don't teach very much about handball anymore. I leave that to Jim and the other guys that can play. First of all, Jim's 75 years old, and Jim can beat
and
almost.
Jim, I don't believe it. You look terrific. Maybe handball's the secret. So other people watching the program, that'll be part of the
And there are
appeal.
very few kids that can beat Jim in handball. So what I do is I focus on life skills. So one of the first things we do is when we go out, we go to a tournament, we talk about the proper way to eat. So we always talk about your left hand goes in your lap, and this is the hand that you eat with. And you can't put this one up here, and you can't go to sleep on the table and things like that. That's really huge. I go to restaurants today and I see young men and women, very, very good looking young men and women, and they're crunched over like this, eating. It looks like they're at the chow hall in Southeast Asia, which they're not. So we teach them things like that. We teach them.
Let me ask Jim about that. Jim, you still, it's hard for me to believe that you're 75. You look terrific.
Right.
But what kind of reaction do you get from the kids when you talk about this other stuff? I can understand why they'd be excited about the sports part of it, but at least initially, do you see them rolling their eyes and wondering why you're even talking about this stuff?
Well, the sports part is a blast. It's a fun thing to do, but it gives me as a coach, along with our other coaches, a chance to physically and mentally interact with one another. I talk about nutrition. I talk about.
And when you talk about that kind of stuff, what kind of reaction do you get?
They agree. They think it's a good idea, and I ask them regularly. In order to qualify for a travel team, you have to have good grades. You got to have. So I ask them regularly, "How's your grades coming?" Well, we got a little work to do. So we talk about that. When the kids they're gaining some weight, we're trying to monitor that. We're trying to do everything we can to just put them on a positive path, not just to be better handball players, because we can do drills all day long, but to be a good player, you got to eat right, you have to be physically good conditioned, and have good,
so they respond.
good habits.
Yeah.
And they responded, and they absolutely loved Dr. Cooper's presentation out at Encanto Park. they were just flabbergasted.
Ken, we're almost out of time. We did put the website up on the screen. How can people get involved and how can they help?
Well, if they can send their donations into one of those addresses, that we can reach kids more. We can reach more children, more kids. We do get funding from the USHA and various grants. The Jake Plummer Foundation is one of the people that contributes every year for us. Jake Plummer is a handball player.
And if people want to get involved in actual instruction, I take it they can do that too?
They could do that also, because we need
Do they have
coaches.
to
We're looking for volunteers.
look like Jim?
We need coaches, we need life
That
coaches.
may narrow the field. I'm sorry, but we're out of time. But thank you both for joining us on Horizonte to talk about this wonderful
you for
program.
having
Thank you for having us, appreciate it.
That is our show for tonight from all of us here at 8 and Horizonte. I'm Jose Cardenas. Have a good night.
Funding for Horizonte is made possible by contributions by the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station.